So Bernard, you wanted a reaction. That was one hell of a reaction, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a great day for the football club. It's a big win for the football club in front of a big crowd. We know we can turn up like that and play and execute the performance that we did, but it's clearly not been often enough this season, hence the reason we are where we are. But yeah, you're bang on. We asked for a reaction, we got a reaction. Thought the work rate was unbelievable. Application was key, and everyone bought into it. But if you rewind 7 days when we spoke away at Oxford, we said that's what we'd do. It's a shame really that players raised the game against the best teams in the league, but anyway, there's no point going on about spilt milk. It is what it is. We've had a great day, and we've just got to finish the season strong now.
It was late drama last time we met against Scunthorpe United, and well, today was no different. Just how do you begin to sum up the scenes at the end?
Yeah, I thought the start 11. I won't say we'll Scunthorpe down, because that would be wrong. Scunthorpe are a force. You could clearly see what they was trying to do later on with Beck coming on. He's hard to mark, he's hard to play against, he's a monster. But with that, there was big spaces, and what we did, the 11, would like to say, wore them down. It allowed Dudley and David Ball to come on and find them half spaces, which Dud played a massive part of the goal. Other players rushed things there. He's some great link-up play prior to the goal, and obviously rewarded. Sarge getting in the box so late on, it shows you how fit he is, the desire to want to win, desire to want to score, and he probably deserves it as much as anyone does, Sargent.
He certainly does. Obviously, he was the late goal scorer when we faced up to Buxton, was once again. How important is Matt Sargent to your team?
It shows today, mate. We scream and shout Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday about getting in the box, midfield runners, the old school 8 who'd be box to box. Sarge is that in abundance, and we've played Sarge in an unfamiliar position for him in terms of the 6 over the last 3 months. He's done really well. We always like him higher up the pitch, and that's what Sarge has got to strive towards. He has to know that getting in the box, there's your rewards, and can we turn a player that scores 4 and 5 goals a season into a player that scores 10 and 12? If that's the case, that's when your big clubs start looking at these central midfielders, because that's where you need your numbers. And speak about the goal. What a cross from Brad Jackson. He's played against 2 tricky wingers today. He's now found himself in the opposition's 18-yard box, putting an unbelievable cross in for Sarge to nod home, so fair play to him.
Yeah, both fullbacks were fantastic. I think, for me personally, I think Matty just edged it in terms of the radio man of the match. How impressed were you with his performance today? Yeah,
for such a young lad, his background, he's obviously EFL. He comes in, such a young lad, the information he's passing on, the desire he shows to want to win a game of football. He's hard, he plays well beyond his years. Just coming up to half time, we was talking about splitting and playing out, and he's like, now there's 2 minutes to go till half time, we'll see it out, and that's experience for such a young lad, and that comes from the level he plays at, and if he breeds that and incorporates that into the squad we've got, then we can only get better. We'll look at a young lad to gain experience from, and we spoke about leadership on a number of occasions. These 21, 22-year-old lads are leaders, especially when they come from experience levels like he has done. I thought Scott's, it's a hard one for Scott to take, because something had to change with that with the squad, and we brought David and Matty Carson in, and Scott will be disappointed that it's him that's been the fall guy today, but that could have been anyone in that team. We know we haven't been good enough. The lads have got around Matty. He speaks well, he speaks up, he's not shy, and he's been on the front foot, and he's said, that's my shirt and I'm going to keep it, and that's what everybody else needs to take a leaf out of his book.
Certainly so, and the back 4 alongside him as well, and they include Hewell in that. What did you make of their afternoon? Because we looked rarely under the cosh today against Scunthorpe.
Jay, we've defended, like you say, I don't want to say we've defended unbelievable, but there was moments where we had to defend. We've defended really well. We've executed it really well. Richard, Lois and Mateus, again, they've all been culprits for making mistakes and people getting on the cases, whereas today they've stood up, they've been counted, they've kept a clean sheet against the best team in the league, and like you say, they've had half chances, they've put us under a little bit of pressure off sets, but I feel like we've defended them well. You look at Beck coming on 6'5", 6'6", Richard taking the responsibility, so I'll go mark him and gets contact with him on the first one. So that's what we have to be every game. You can't just do that against the big sides. We need to find a way of installing that into the squad, that whether we're playing top of the league, bottom of the league, we have to be on the front foot, show that desire and determination every single game, and with that you don't find yourself in the bottom 5.
How important was that 8th clean sheet as well in terms of confidence going into the back end of the season as well?
It's not a fluke keeping a clean sheet against Scunthorpe. We all know that. They've got some great players in there who've got good numbers. It shows you when we turn up, we can turn up. We've kept 2 clean sheets against the best team in the league today. There's no skirting around the edge of that. That's the facts. And like you alluded to before, Anthony missing a penalty when he did in the 94th minute against Scunthorpe. You know, we're a penalty away from taking 6 points off, you know, the potential champions. So we know on our day we can match anybody, but it's just on our day, and that day's not been there as much as what it should have been. But it gives us the platform now to start building from now for next year. I say that with confidence, and because you know, and you just don't know when your days are numbered in football. But we will certainly now take that. There's no guarantee that we're safe, but 10 points, it'd be very, very disappointing from this point to keep talking about being safe. But we have to work hard this week in training. Leamington away next week is going to be another tough game, another game where, you know, we need to take points to take the pressure off us. So we'll do the right things today. We'll enjoy tonight, and they deserve to enjoy tonight because it's a big win, and then we'll regroup and work hard towards Leamington next week.
Last week we were touching on how low the dressing room was. What's it like today? I can only imagine, but I'm going to ask you, what is that dressing room like today? Very
vocal at half time, which tells me that the belief was there. They believed that they'd held the round against Scunthorpe. With that, you know, they go out second half, and we spoke about staying in the game as long as we could, not chasing it. It might be the 88th minute, it might be the 90th minute we score. As it turns out, we stayed in the game. I feel like we made good substitutions who controlled the ball well. We added quality to that, and obviously, you know, you can see when we scored, the crowd, the players mixing, the coaching staff. Again, I've been booked for somebody else's running on the pitch, but you know, I'll take that today. But I think collectively as a club, fan base, players, management, everybody involved today deserve that, and we should strive towards that. You know, at Radcliffe, when you've got Radcliffe playing at home against Scunthorpe with just short of 2,000 on. That's what we need to work towards, and to do that, if we keep grinding them results out, we grow as a football club, and with that, the fan base. So fair play to everyone involved today.
And like you say, our attention now turns to Leamington next Saturday. Side that we previously beat here at the Newman on a Tuesday night. What are your early thoughts going into that one?
We've gone toe to toe with Paul over the last 10 years. You know, Paul always has his side set up right, hard to beat. Very ugly in and out of possession, does well every single year. Been relegated, gets promoted, knows the league as good as anyone, and we know how tough of a game it's going to be. If it's sunny, pitch is going to be dry, grass will be long, but that credit to them, that's how they set up. We've just got to go there, be organised, know exactly what we're up against, which comes from the coaching staff. We'll pass that information on, and we've got to go there with the same belief we've had today and the same grit between the teeth, where we want to win the game. We ain't going there and sit behind the ball for a draw. We unfortunately we don't do that. That's probably where we fall short sometimes this year. But let's go there, hopefully get a win, and sort of, you know, cement our place in this league, and then look forward to the last 3 games.
And then finally, what's your final message to the fans for these final 4 games?
Keep coming in numbers, because it helps, and when you celebrate with them, which we have done today, you know, I'm not saying jumping on the pitch is the way forward, but you could see how much it means to everyone involved. And you know, these fans will look at, you know, they might be turning up telling their kids, oh, we're playing Scunthorpe today, top of the league. The likelihood is we won't win, but we have to have that belief that, you know, we can go toe to toe with whoever comes in front of us, and we've done that today. I won't get above my station too much, because I've been in it too long to know that you don't know what's around the corner, which is Leamington away, and you know, all the good you've done today, you've got to go and back it up next week. But I think that in terms of the supporters, they deserve that. They've followed us so well all season away. They've not had as much success as what they probably wanted to have. A lot of them are realists though, and a lot of them have supported us through thick and thin, and understand that it's our first year at this level, and are dead supportive. But you know, there's always a minority that want success imminently, and unfortunately we've been around it too long that we know that doesn't happen. So, but yeah, fair play to him. Let's get them there next week in numbers. No doubt there'll be, you know, 30, 40 of them that stay over, because that's what they tend to do, and I hope we can put a show on for them.
Thank you, Bernard.